Welcome to Americana Archives. Today we have part 8 of the story with the headline, Indian Adventures in the Ohio Valley. The subheadline says, Tales of Bravery and Daring on the part of border settlers in Ohio and Kentucky. Today's installment is entitled Tales of Indian Outrages. It says, during the year 1782, the Indians committed their fiercest and boldest depredations in Kentucky. Boone and a number of companions pursued the bloodthirsty savages to the licking, where the attack was made against the advice of Boone, who feared an ambush. The result was disastrous. Boone's advice might have been taken, it being his desire to postpone action until the arrival of Colonel Logan's troops. But Major McGarry spurred his horse into the water, gave the Kentucky war whoop, and cried out, "All those who are not cowards will follow me. I will show them where the Indians are." The men were roused by the show of bravery and marched on to their deaths. The whites determined then upon a war of extermination and soon rallied in large numbers at Fort Washington, the present site of Cincinnati. General Clark was made commander-in-chief, and Colonel Logan was placed next under him in command. Clark immediately started with 1,000 men to attack the Indian towns on the Miami. On his way, he came to the cabin of Simon Girty, the white renegade, who was even more bloodthirsty than his Indian allies. But Simon made his escape. The Indians were all warned of his coming, but the towns of Old and New Chillicothe, Peckaway, and Willis's Town were all reduced to ashes. One old Indian warrior was surprised and taken prisoner, and this man was afterwards murdered by one of the soldiers. In 1785, the Indians had become so bold that they made an attempt to guard the Ohio River from Pittsburgh to Louisville. Small parties occupied different points, and from ambush fired upon every boat that passed. Captain Hubble was bringing a small party of emigrants from Virginia, and near the present site of Cincinnati, they were attacked. The Indians found the struggle too hard and soon pulled off, but presently returned and attacked the second boat. They captured it readily, killing most of the emigrants it contained, and keeping the women that they might hold them up as shields in their second attack upon Hubble's boat. But Hubble ordered his men to shoot, knowing that it would be better to kill the women than to have them reserved for torture. Of the 9 men in his boat, 2 only had escaped unhurt. 4 were killed. Fort Washington was headquarters for the Indian fighters for some time. In 1791, General Hamar started from here with 320 men and was joined by Pennsylvania and Kentucky militia. But the militia abandoned him, and his campaign was a failure. A new army was raised, and Major General Arthur St. Clair left Fort Washington in the direction of the Miami towns. The Indians surprised his army of 2,000, and 38 commissioned officers and 593 non-commissioned officers and privates were slain. General St. Clair resigned command of the army, and Major General Anthony Wayne, Mad Anthony, succeeded him. His was a successful campaign. It resulted in a treaty with all the Indian tribes northwest of the Ohio. This story came from the great state of Ohio, being reported in the Cincinnati Commercial Gazette of July 21st, 1895. Thank you for joining us today. If you want to continue to uncover all of America's lost and forgotten history, then remember before you leave to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and remember to like and comment below. And we will see you next time on Americana Archives.